Hello, everybody. Um, this whole film festival is dedicated to the city of Los Angeles, our sister city. Um, and we're partnering with Direct Relief International to raise support for the LA communities affected by the fire. They will be matching our donations up to 100,000 to double our impact. And there are booths outside the lobby, and they will be there until the end of the festival. So please be generous. Anything you can give us. All the money is going to go directly into, pun intended, Direct Relief International, and it will be put to great use. We love Los Angeles, and let's help them out. A special thank you to Lexus, our presenting sponsor. You will see Lexus vehicles. I actually drove into a Lexus. I'm a Porsche guy, but it felt pretty nice to drive into a Lexus. So during the festival in front of the film center, you can sign up for a test drive and show lots of love to the Manitou Fund. Nora McNeely Hurley, Michael Hurley, and the Manitou Fund, who have been an incredible partner for the past few years, and the board of directors of the film festival. This is actually, I'm not supposed to have favorites, but tonight is my favorite night of the film festival. And it has been for years because, my goodness, look at the array of talent that we have tonight. Ariana Grande, Selena Gomez, Monica Barbaro, Sebastian Stan, John Magaro, Clarence Macklin, Fernanda Torres, and, and Mikey Madison. It's like epic, and it goes on and on. It's an incredible evening. And I give credit to the success of this evening to our moderator. Dave Karger. He's been hosting this for over 15 years, although he's only like 15 years old. So he must have been like 1 year old when he started hosting this. Please give a warm welcome to the most incredible moderator, Dave Karger. He's the host of Turner Classic Movies and a great friend. Dave Karger. He's only 16 years old.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Linda and Bruce. Thank you, everybody on the board of the Santa Barbara International Film Festival. What a pleasure and thrill it is for me to say that this is my 15th year in a row hosting this event. And what I love about this year's crop of 8 virtuosos that we're going to be honoring tonight is that it shows you that you can have a breakout moment in your film career at any point. You can be someone who's been working for a few years who finally has that one role that really allows the audience to see what you're able to do, like Monica Barbaro or Mikey Madison. Maybe you're a veteran who's been working for decades, but the performance allows us to see you in a different light, like John Magaro and Fernando Torres and Sebastian Stan. Maybe it's your first ever film role, like Clarence Macklin. Or maybe you're a global megastar like Ariana Grande and Selena Gomez. Anything goes, and that's why I love this event. So for anyone here who has never been to a Virtuosos event, here's how it works. I bring out each of the 8 honorees one at a time, alphabetically by first name. Think about it. You'll know why. And we do a quick interview, and then once those 8 interviews are done, I bring all 8 of them out at the same time for a little bit of a group interview. But before we bring out our first honoree, the wonderful people at the Santa Barbara International Film Festival have put together hat tip to Mike McGee, a wonderful montage of all of their performances. So let's take a look. Oh, I've waited months to say this. Please welcome Ariana Grande. Hi.
Hello.
Great to see you.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Welcome to Santa Barbara.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I love you too.
Thrilled that you're here. Listen, there's been so much that you've accomplished so far in your life in so many different media, TV, music, and film. Now you're an Academy Award nominated actress. Not to mention a BAFTA nomination and 2 Screen Actors Guild Award nominations, but yes. I want to know if an Oscar nomination was on your dream list.
I mean, I wouldn't even let my mind go that far. You know, you don't even think about something like that being within the realm of possibility. You know, playing Glinda was the dream of my life, and I was so deeply grateful every single day to do that work, and that was more than enough. So to be on the other side of it and to be recognized in this way is just something that you don't even dream of at all. So I feel deeply grateful, and also the company that I'm in, and I've admired these actresses and also actors that I've met along the way for my whole life. So I feel very welcomed and celebrated, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
So I know from my social media that Cynthia Erivo was like on an airplane when the nominations came out.
Yes.
How did you guys finally get to celebrate with each other, both being nominated?
I mean, we were sobbing and sending each other voice notes. She was on the plane and I was in London. We were both working, and we were just sharing our gratitude and texting each other like crazy people, like we usually do.
I mean, can you imagine? Listen, it doesn't always go this well when you're working with someone. You don't always have, like, it doesn't always work out, right? Can you imagine having gone through this experience with someone who you didn't have this bond with?
Oh, no. Thank goodness. Am I right? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm so grateful. I really do feel like not only did I get to share this with the most formidable actress and scene partner I could ever dream of. You know, she's a singular talent, but also a one-of-a-kind friend. And I'm so grateful it was her and us together, you know.
Yes. And we're proud to say she was a virtuoso here on this stage for Harriet a few years ago. So I'm glad you're following in her footsteps. The characterization that you've put forward as Glinda has so many facets to it, and it's powerful dramatically because of this theme of wanting to be liked, being afraid that you're not going to be liked. How do you think that part of the character really was important to you in how you portrayed her?
Well, I think it's kind of the most important piece of her puzzle, you know, because of course Galinda's a comedic role, and she's full of light, and it seems fluffy at times, but that comedy can't land without there being a person with a real human heartbeat beneath the surface. So it's about getting to know that person and finding out what her insecurities are and where that desperate need for external validation comes from, and why is popularity and being liked so important to her. And it's such a gift to be able to play a character that has so much nuance and so many different wow. Thank you. Um, yeah, but you know, there's plenty underneath the surface to dig into. So that's my favorite thing about her, is that you get to feel pain, you get to feel humanness, but also her magic is the levity that she brings.
And
Yeah.
I mean, the comedy is so joyful. And for those of us who have watched you and seen you on Saturday Night Live and see you on talk shows, and when you do Jennifer Coolidge, it makes us all so happy. For this particular comedy, do you feel like it came very naturally to you, or did you really have to work with John Chu and with everybody else on the set to hone it and get it right, or were you like, oh, I got this?
Well, I mean, that's the beautiful thing you mentioned, John M. Chu, you know, being able to work with a director who is so endlessly curious and open to play and improv. You know, he's so meticulous. He'll come in with like a very perfect plan of like what we're going to get and have it all storyboarded out perfectly. And we'll do that version. We'll have a version that's as it's written, and then he just wants to play. He'll say, what would Glinda say this time? Just try something, just play. So it's that safe space that he created and that collaboration that allows for something to really become yours. It's the playfulness and the curiosity and that collaboration with a director like John Chu, who is just one of one, and having scene partners like our incredible ensemble. It feels really honest. Yeah.
I just got to meet your mom. I'm very excited.
Oh, yay.
She was hi, Joan, wherever you are.
She's in the wings.
Oh, hi, Joan. How does she feel about everything that's going on with everything right now?
I mean, she's so proud. She has a little pin that she's wearing tonight. It makes me cry when I see it, but it says MU for Mama Upland, for Galinda Upland, Mama Upland. And she wears only black all the time. But tonight she is wearing like a light pink fluff scarf made of like pink fluffy balls. And I was like, holy shit. Mom, thank you. This is so full out. She's like, she's like method acting. It's fabulous. I feel very supported and grateful, and there honestly is no way to describe what this feels like. It's beautiful. Again, like you don't let yourself dream this far. This was the dream. Wicked was the dream. So this is all very surreal. Thank you.
One last thing. Listen, I know it's 9 months away, the second movie, but if you had to finish this sentence, the second Wicked movie is going to be even more...
Ooh, oh my God. I would say... do I have more than one word that I'm allowed to use? I would say... Oh no, this is so hard. Well, it's very special. It's very emotional. It's very... I think the second movie really embodies unconditional love and forgiveness and friendship. And I'm kidding. And you'll have to wait and see, but it's quite different. And you get to see people kind of reap the benefit, like kind of, you know, bear the repercussions for their choices that they make in movie one. So if movie one is about choices, movie two is about consequences.
Nice. And new songs.
Yes, and new songs.
Right.
And becoming truly good.
I can't wait. We can handle it, right? Everybody, we can handle waiting. I'm so happy you're here. We'll see you in a few minutes. Ariana Grande, everyone. Stay right there. I mean, come on. All right, up next, I want to introduce you to a wonderful person, Clarence Macklin, co-star of Sing Sing. Before he comes out, let's take a look at some of his work. Please welcome an Academy Award nominee for Best Original Screenplay, Clarence Macklin. Great to see you. Here's a mic for you. Welcome. That should be on. That should be on.
One. Yep,
Good.
this one.
Thanks so much for being here.
Yes,
It's great to see you.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure.
You know what? 20 years ago this year, in 2005, is when Esquire magazine came out with an article called, I think it was called The Sing Sing Follies, about a group of inmates at Sing Sing who were putting on musical shows as part of RTA, Rehabilitation Through the Arts. I went back and found the article, and I found the picture of you playing Hamlet. You have the skull in your hand in the photo. Would you ever have thought when that article came out, 20 years later, you'd be sitting here as an Oscar nominee for Best Screenplay for a movie based on the article?
Oh man, thank you so much. But no, I had absolutely no idea. See, actually, what I thought was that I because we were doing theater, because we were doing performances in prison, our aspirations was to make a movie. That's what you think when you get out. I'm gonna make a movie. I'm gonna do something. But it's more like something that you put on a bucket list. Like you get it done, you do the movie, and you go back to your day job.
Right.
However, that didn't happen. There's no go. I mean, this is it now. There's no plan B. It's over.
So all these years later, when the movie was being filmed, how much experience had you had with acting in front of a camera?
Oh, I have absolutely none, really. I mean, no. We did plays inside prison. I did plenty of plays. However, there was no film. We wasn't filming anything. However, I did have a lot of training because a lot of people that were involved with film came into the facility and volunteered their time to train us. So it's not like I didn't have any training at all. We had some very, very good people that are involved in the industry that volunteered their time to come in. That's when people say to me that I played, you played yourself. I played Hamlet too. I don't know if you missed that.
During this whole process, not just like the 20 years since the magazine article came out, but also all the years that it took, and you worked very closely with Greg Cuidar and his co-writer Clint, on the screenplay. Did it ever get to a point where you like, when is this going to actually happen? Like, is this going to come out already? Or were you like, I'm patient, I'm good?
No, I was definitely saying, when is it gonna happen? I mean, but now looking back, it seemed like things happened fairly quickly, because while you're doing it, you're like, all right, let's go. I mean, what's happening? Is it gonna happen today or? But I think things happen when they're supposed to happen.
So the film was shot in a decommissioned prison.
Two, actually.
Two, okay. What was it like for you then after so many years to then go back? Did you have trepidation about it? Did you find it freeing? What was that experience like?
Well, as you could imagine, on the onset, it was a lot of apprehension about going back into a place that I clawed my way out of. I mean, I did everything to get out of this place. So to voluntarily walk back into a prison and to put on the uniform, to put that uniform back on that so readily identifies you as an outcast, So, but I will say that the message, the overall message for what the movie represents, the message to you, the people on the other side of the wall, is that people in prison are just that. They're people, and they have the ability to change, grow, So that message that needed to get out was more important than any apprehension or any discomfort that I may have suffered to get that message. And on the other side of that message was a message to the individuals in prison that it could be done. You don't have to keep being this. There's a big world out here.
You know, I want to ask you about the work that you're doing with young people now, and I'm also now seeing that you have 2 pins on your lapel. I don't know if there's a relationship between what you're doing now and Successful Steps, which I see on your lapel. What are you up to now?
This is what I've been doing before the movie. You know, when I came home from prison in 2012, I had a bachelor's degree in behavioral science. So I wanted to use that bachelor's degree in my community to show individuals that, you know, there's other ways of becoming successful, other ways other than what's just in front of us, because what we tend to do is only see the world that's in front of us, and we think that that's all there is. Like, there's nothing more to that. But so we created a program. I got a job at Lincoln Hall, a place called Lincoln Hall in Westchester County, working with at-risk teens, at-risk youth. And while I was there, I began to elevate, and I got another title, which was certified gang trainer. I was getting kids out of gangs and getting them into college and things of that nature. So, you know, those are the things that these represent. And Successful Steps has been working hand in hand with the Duke of Edinburgh. So this pin is the Duke of Edinburgh, and we've been working hand in hand with them for like 10 years, providing opportunities for individuals in underserved communities in New York and all over New York, you know.
When I met you, I told you I was also from Westchester County. So I'm so glad you're here for that reason, too. Hey, one last thing. I know that Kieran Culkin has said publicly that he's like a huge fan of yours, that he flipped out over your performance in Sing Sing. I would love to know, are there other people that you've met throughout these last couple of months or heard about who are fans of yours that's kind of blown your mind?
Oh, my God. I just learned that Nicolas Cage, Al Pacino, these guys said that they love my performance. Incredible.
We all do. We all do. And we're so happy you're here. Clarence Macklin, everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Stick around. Right? From one Academy Award nominee to another, we're going to move on to the fantastic Fernanda Torres.
Yes.
Let's take a look at a little bit of her work in I'm Still Here. Please welcome Academy Award nominee Fernanda Torres. Welcome.
Thank you.
Is Brazil in the house? All right. Listen, it's so fun to go back and rewatch the moment where you won your Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Drama, and I think people were like, anyone who was surprised should not have been surprised because of that whole impressive group of women that were nominated. You're the one that got the Oscar nomination. How about that?
It was, in the beginning, this is such a special year for women in cinema, I think.
Yes, it is.
It is. With great performances by ladies, most of them over 40.
Yes.
Some of them over 50. So I think it's a miracle that I got nominated at the end, because this year I think there should be like 10 nominations to be fair with all of us.
I agree. So for the two of you who don't know, Fernanda Torres is the second Best Actress Oscar nominee ever from the country of Brazil, and the first one was her mother, Fernanda Montenegro. And Fernanda Montenegro was nominated for a film, Central Station, directed by Walter Salles, and her director for I'm Still Here is Walter Salles, which is such a great full circle moment. Okay, so some people didn't know.
Yeah, there was someone surprised in the audience.
Yes, there was. I heard a gasp. How did you get to know Walter Salles 25 years ago when he was working with your mom?
Sorry, I worked with him before.
Oh,
her.
tell me, please, correct me.
You see, We did a film 30 years ago.
What?
Yeah, Foreign Land, a very important film for Walter, because I think that was the film that Walter discovered which director he was. I mean, what kind of it. He said, I want to work like with small teams, with everybody being a co-author of the movie. And he did it in Foreign Land. And then later I saw him doing it with Center Station, with Motorcycle Diaries. And I thought we were done. And then he came with this amazing invitation to play this wonderful woman, Eunice Paiva. So I was there before.
Okay, yes. I'm so glad I now know. I need to go back and watch that. I was looking at your credits, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I will be again. This is your first film in like 15 years. Of course, you had done a lot of television work, but as far as a feature film, it had been a few years. So what was it like then to come back? I mean, granted, the work isn't that different from television and film, but to come back for a big screen film like this and have it be with Walter and then have it result in this?
You know, what happened is that after a while, I did a lot of cinema in my life, but suddenly, and I didn't do television for 30 years. And then I did two very, very popular TV series, comic series. And I mean, you work so much in television. It's such a huge industry that I could not do movies, or even I was doing theater, but mostly television. And what I did is that I started to write. Was the only thing, because it just needed my hand and my mind. And then I thought that I became so popular with these two series that I thought I was done for Walter. But then Walter doesn't watch television.
Thank God.
You see, so he still had that memory of me. And he invited me to do Eunice, which I thought would never happen. And then he saved me for drama again.
I love it.
I'm back.
So a couple weeks ago when you were on Jimmy Kimmel, you were saying like, oh my gosh, I'm almost afraid to go back to Brazil now that I've won this Golden Globe and everything has happened. It's going to be so crazy. Have you been home?
No. I have been avoiding, you see. I have been escaping to Lisbon. And you know what will happen? The Oscar night will happen during Carnival in Brazil.
Oh.
It's gonna be insane. And what is happening now there, which is wonderful, is that they have a lot of, that's the peak of fame in Brazil, to become a costume of Carnival. And now I have a lot of me in the streets. I'm very proud of it.
Now,
man, it's a serious film.
Right. Let's be serious.
Let's go back to the
Right.
film.
I'm a huge fan of Central Station. I'm a huge fan of your mother's performance in that film. That was also a great year for women. I think it was the same year as Hilary Swank and Boys Don't Cry. It was like a great year.
A great year
Yeah.
for cinema. Yeah.
What was your reaction when you learned that you and your mother would be playing the same character in this film?
She was in the film already. You see, I was not the first pick. So, I mean, for me, when he invited me, I thought he was going to invite me to write a script for him.
No.
Yes, and I've read the script already because we're great friends, and I knew he was going to make the movie, that my mother was in the movie. And then he said, do you want to play Eunice? And I was like, are you sure? I was so moved, and then I started to work hard. I mean, even for the first reading, because I didn't want to lose the character in the reading it. It happened before. So I was like working even before the first reading.
I'm blown away by that. I had no idea.
Don't be blown
I had
away.
no. Walter, what were you thinking? Who else could have played this?
Yes.
So what has it been like then for you to share the success of this film with your mom?
It's such a miracle. Come on, let's face it, because the whole thing, Marcelo Rubens Paiva, who wrote the book that the film is based on, he's my friend. He was my idol in the adolescence because he had this accident. He lost the movements of his body. And at the age of 20, he wrote this amazing book that's it was so lively, so incredible that he became an idol of my adolescence. So I knew Marcelo, but I didn't know anything about Eunice. Eunice, first she was the widow of Rubens and then the mother of Marcelo. And then he wrote this book to say in adulthood that he discovered that the great heroine of the family was this woman. And so I discovered Eunice by reading this book. And and sometimes, you know, when you do like these campaigns and you start to forget why you are here. And you start to believe that this is about you. And every time it happens with me, I go back to Eunice because I really think this movie, The Book of Marcelo, is still part of her fight for justice, you see. So even after her death, I think she's still here, really, through this film. And so to have this with my mother, and there is this beautiful story because Eunice raised Marcelo and my mother raised me. So this film is also about transmission, about the endurance of art, about justice in a long time being made through love, through joy, through art. So the whole thing is really meaningful.
It was meant to be. And we all know Eunice through you now. So thank you for that and congratulations. Fernando Torres.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Stay right there. Okay, up next from the fantastic movie September 5, John Magaro. Let's take a look at a scene from the movie. So glad this movie got an Oscar nomination for Best Screenplay. Please welcome John Magaro. Great to see you. That's for you.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. So glad you're here.
I see no one has touched this water.
You can.
Should I touch it? Why not? It's water. It's healthy.
When I watch that clip, it takes me back to seeing this movie at the Telluride Film Festival. And your character is such a way in for the audience because he's like the new guy, right? And we've all had that experience in our lives where we've been the new person in the situation where we feel the insecurity.
Yep.
Did you have a point of reference for that? Did you have something in your head where you're like, oh, I was that guy?
Every day of my life. Right now, I mean, look at these people backstage. Look at the people who've talked to you guys. I mean, yeah, that's me, yes.
You know what? Well, I'm thrilled that you're here. And we've been watching you for so many years. Obviously, First Cow, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, was a huge moment for you. But I feel like these last couple of years, I mean, we had Greta Lee here last year for Past Lives.
Greta Lee.
Hello. How great was John in Past Lives?
Thank you.
Now I'm halfway through The Agency. I'm a couple episodes behind, but I'm loving the show The Agency that you're in.
Yeah, watch it. If you haven't seen it, these people up front have seen it.
Michael
It's Paramount
Fassbender.
Plus. Not a lot of people have it. I get it. Yeah.
Richard Gere, Michael Fassbender, yourself. It's pretty great. But how would you describe what these last couple of years have been like? I mean, it's just been insane for you.
Well, it's been it's been insane, I think, for everyone in this room. It's been insane. It's an insane time we're living in. Yeah, so First Cow comes out March 13th, 2020. Next week, theaters are shut down. The world shuts down. So, yeah, there's that. Then we went through 2 strikes. So I think it's the resilience of the film industry through the chaos of the last few years has been very inspiring to me. And I've been very lucky to be able to kind of come out of these peaks and valleys of it and continue to make work that I'm proud of. And that's part of it. I don't know. I haven't processed it. It's all. Oh, do you have a couch? We could have a therapy session.
That's a great note for next year, John.
Yeah.
We'll work on that. One of the many
That'd be more interesting.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, why
actors
not?
on a couch.
For the gowns
My
of-
mother, and God.
One of the many impressive things about September 5 is just the kind of authenticity of the 1972 of it all. And I know that was very important to Tim Feldbaum, your director, and everybody working with it. What was it like to be in that 1972 world while you were filming?
I'm a nerd, so I like going back in history. Part of the reason I do this, part of the reason I love films is that chance to time travel in a way. I mean, one of the films, my brother always says, the first film that I really seemed to love was Back to the Future. I spent what was that? Oh,
There you
yeah,
go.
hey. So I spent, well, you like this. I spent about, when I was about 7 years old, I spent a year straight watching that movie every day for a year. And I think just the idea that film can transport us back in time and show us something, a moment in history that changed everything, is really intriguing to me. And I know that that's what we were attempting to do with September 5. We live in this world of hyper sensationalized media, tragedy just being washed over our back that we forget about instantly until the next one comes along, which is about 5 hours later. And something about going back to that moment was really fascinating to me. And it was a little film, and I like little films. I'm an underdog. I like to be an underdog. I grew up in Cleveland. I don't know what was the underdog city of the world, and I like that. So yeah.
That's good. By the way, my parents, shout out, my parents met in Cleveland, Ohio. So
Oh, God.
Thank God for Cleveland, Ohio.
How did that happen?
Grad school.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's not what we're here to talk about, John.
I'd love to talk about that.
Rather, I would like to ask you, because when you watch the clip that we just showed, it also reminds me of just the tension throughout the entire 95 or so minute runtime of this movie. I'd be curious to know, when you were filming it, did it feel as tense as we do watching it? Or is that all in the editing and the music and everything else?
Yeah, I could lie and say it felt tense, but I'm not going to. I'm an honest person. That was a lot, the editing. And in fact, I got to say, there was definitely a worry. Can you sustain a film about an event happening outside of this world that you don't see any of that, really? And it's about people doing their jobs. But Tim, because of his vision and his clarity in that vision, he was able to capture that. And really, even though we were unsure about that, the script lent itself to that. And we just leaned into that and trusted that the tension would be there. And I think because our ensemble was so committed to being authentic and true to the experience of the people who were in that room, it's one of those lessons where you learn the oddest things can be captivating. The oddest things can be thrilling. And you don't have to play this game of reaching for something you think will be captivating. Life is captivating enough. Yeah.
So now when you're like, yes. So now when you're just home watching TV or watching a live event on TV, are you watching it so differently now?
So differently. I was watching the Super Bowl. Oh, the Super Bowl. Ay, ay, ay. What a terrible, terrible Super Bowl. Go Birds. Go Birds. I imagine Philadelphia is burning down right now. But no, when you watch these events, Yes, because I spent two months shadowing at CBS Sunday Football and going to ESPN NBA basketball games behind Madison Square Garden, learning how to call a show. And I mean, you're sitting there on your couch watching these things and you just take it for granted. You know, you go and, you go and take a shit and you go and have a drink and you don't know what's going on. But these people are in this room, laser focused, getting it right, keeping it on air. And it's so inspiring. And I really, because I talked to the real Jeff Mason, which is the guy I play in the film, I needed to get it right. And I'm happy that he thinks I got it right.
You got it right.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. John Magaro. See
you,
September 5.
Thank you.
Stay right there.
And leave.
Don't move. Coming up next, I'll stop you. Coming up next from Honora, Mikey Madison. Let's check out a scene from the movie. Nominated for a BAFTA, 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards, and an Oscar, Mikey Madison. Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm hoarse just watching that.
Oh,
How many hours on end were you screaming for that?
literally 8 days straight. It was unbelievable, but I've had experience screaming on Productions Force.
Okay.
So it was, I knew what to expect.
Oh my God, I had forgotten how much screaming there was until I just saw that again. Okay, let's be newsy here for a minute because in the past 2 days, Honora has won Best Picture from the Critics' Choice, the Directors Guild, and the Producers Guild. What are you all going through right now with what's happened just in the last 48 hours?
A lot of excitement. I don't think that we were really expecting it, and so it was very fun. And I think it's also quite surreal for all of us.
I'd be curious to know when it was first a reality that you were going to be playing Annie, and you went through the script at that point, knowing you were going to be doing it, not just auditioning for it. What freaked you out the most about the idea of playing her?
So when I met Sean for the first time, there was no script, and basically met him, had a coffee, and it was the first time in my life that a director had given me a role without auditioning me before.
Crazy.
Very crazy. It was like, I don't know why you want to cast me in this, but
Was he a
will
Better
take
Things
it.
fan?
No, he had seen a horror film I did, Scream, opening weekend, and then and then he had from that he had remembered me. I had a small part in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when I was a teenager. And so he called me just a couple days later and pitched me the idea and said, "Hey, if you want to do this, I'll write it for you." And I said, "Yes, I would love to." And then from there, it was about a year until we were shooting on set. So I was really able to be a part of the creative process. And, he was giving me updates on the script. So I kind of was just learning as I was going about her. And then eventually I was delivered a full script and able to just build off of that.
I mean, I remember so vividly seeing this movie. It was a Telluride, so it had already played Cannes. Of course, I knew it was going to be good. But I remember seeing it, and just at the very beginning, as we're following Annie through the club, and seeing how she flirts with everyone, and seeing how she goes about her work, and just from that first moment, I was like, "Oh, I am in. I am so into this movie." And then to go back and learn that these, at some points, were 10-minute takes of you in the club. What was that experience like for you as a performer?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, making this film, so much of it was completely new to me. I mean, I've been acting or learning or trying to act for more than a decade now, but I had never shot a film the way Sean Baker shot Honora, in a positive way. But yeah, that whole opening scene of you watching Annie pick up customers, give lap dances, it's all improvised. And so I had a wireless mic, and then the director was just following me on a long lens, and each roll of film is about 10 minutes. So we would shoot for 10 minutes, just me walking up to people. It was a completely live club, talking to men, giving dances and things like that. And I think they were able to just pick little pieces from all of those conversations.
How else would you describe working with Sean Baker, new Directors Guild Award winner, by the way? He's such a cool guy. And I love Red Rocket. We had Simon Rex here a couple of years ago, and I love the Florida Project and Tangerine. Besides what you just described, how else is it unique to work with him?
I think it was just the collaborative nature. I've never been welcomed into the process of making a film like he welcomed me into making our film. I mean, even just from being a part of like the film coming to life just on the script, to him and I talking every single day while he's in the editing room, just to be a part of all of that was really special, and something that I had been really looking for my entire career, and like hoping that one day I'd be able to have that kind of a relationship with someone like Sean. But yeah, I mean, I think also just his trust in me as an actor to really build this character from the ground up. I mean, he hadn't even heard the accent until the first day of shooting, or didn't know what I had learned in Russian, or I was like, okay, now I'm gonna have to learn to be a stripper. And so I went to stripper boot camp, and literally, and I took it very seriously, by the way. And so I was like, okay, we're going to film in a couple weeks. I should probably send him some videos of what I've learned. But he just really trusted me. And I think it was just, it was nice to have that trust placed on me. And I trusted him too. And it was sort of very kismet, creative relationship that we had.
This is a question I wasn't going to ask you, but I'm just sitting here talking to you and just remembering how flipped out I was at your performance when I saw it. When you saw the finished product, what did you think? Were you like, wow, I actually did this and it's pretty damn great? Or are you not able to look at yourself that way? Are you critiquing yourself?
Well, the experience of making the film was so special, and also like very transformative, just because of what it was like to make that movie. I learned a lot about myself as a person, as an actor. I grew. And so much had been like building up to sing it for the first time. And Sean was like, do you want to come to the editing room? And I was like, I can't look at it, because I was just so scared. Like, what if I like didn't do my job, or what if I didn't do my character justice in the way that I really wanted to do for her? And so it was just like those personal fears that stopped me from wanting to see it. And then I eventually saw it, and I was just totally in awe of the creativity on all aspects, like the cinematography, the other actors, Sean's incredible direction. And so I was really able to just take a step back and watch it more as an audience member. And I was watching it and I was like, God, it's just not me at all, is it? So I think that also helped.
Real quick, this has been such a, I'm sure, crazy last couple of 9 months or whatever. I just saw a picture of you on the Graham Norton show couch with like Robert De Niro, Brandon Carlile, and Elton John. And then there you are. And I was like, yes, Mikey. Like, has there been a top pinch me experience throughout this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, why they wanted me on that sofa, I do not know, but I was very happy to be there. Gosh, pinch me moments. I mean, I think it's really just the people I've been able to meet, like the actors and the actresses specifically. And I mean, that those have been pinch me moments, to just get to know the artists that I've admired for so long, and be able to like witness their brilliance in person, and sort of create that community that have been like really searching for. I think those are the moments that I'm like pinching myself.
That's how I feel right now, sitting talking to you. Mikey Madison, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. Incredible. All right, stay right there. Coming up next, another M, Monica Barbaro from A Complete Unknown. Let's take a look at a scene from her movie. Please welcome Screen Actors Guild Award and Academy Award nominee Monica Barbaro. Hi. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Good. Last time I saw you was a Top Gun cast Q&A. It was like 8 guys and you.
Yeah,
And
that
you
sounds about right.
more than held your own. I was like, this woman is special. Little did I know that you were on your way to do what we all got to see you do. So congratulations on that Oscar nomination.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So listen, the whole Top Gun experience, I'm sure, was crazy. How does this experience going through what you're doing now compare?
Well, I mean, I feel so lucky to be in either movie, but to have gotten to have the experience of watching a film be a part of the sort of awards circuit as a fly on the wall was helpful because I like to kind of like observe and see where I'm headed before I go somewhere. Like just now I walked out here, I was like, oh, it's a longer walk than I thought.
You did great. You did
It's
great.
like, oh, it's the whole stage. Okay. But that's it, it's nice to have gotten to see all of these events and things and to now go in as again and you know nominee or not because I haven't been for many of the events but also to be nominated, at least I've seen it before is basically what I'm saying.
Do you remember like what first went through your mind at the thought of you playing Joan Baez?
I mean I was hugely I was really excited by the prospect, but also just very intimidated. Yeah. I mean, I admire her so much. She has an excellent voice, and she has really devoted fans for great reasons. She's also just a very powerful activist, and so yeah, she still is. It's cool. And so, yeah, I mean, I understood that it was, you know, these were big shoes to fill and it's impossible to get that vocal quality that she has. And so, yeah, I knew my work was cut out for me.
Were there guiding adjectives or traits that you learned about in studying her and researching her that really helped you with the performance? Were there like North Star ideas or words?
Yeah, well, everyone talks about, like specifically with her performance style, everyone talks about her vibrato and the key that she sings her songs in. And at that time in her performance style, she was quite still. And people would talk about like her sort of seeming deeply troubled and deeply affected by the words of the songs that she was singing. And so there were those qualities that I could sort of focus on so that at least if I could get close to those things, that I would be portraying her in a way that was recognizable to people. You know, because you can't get someone exact and you don't want to be doing an impersonation of someone or an imitation. Like there might be some mimicry in the process of learning them, but at the end of the day, you don't want to be a caricature because then it feels it can cheapen it. So, but at least to have those elements of recognizability, then you can kind of let go a little bit and try to embody some of their essence. And so that's what we all sort of worked on in the film. And I think collectively everyone did a lovely job with that.
Yeah. Did you feel like, right? Did you feel like you were already a pretty proficient singer, but it was just about approaching the sound of Joan Baez? Or was it, I need to not only sound a little bit like Joan Baez, but also learn to sing?
Yeah, I didn't. I'm not a singer. I wasn't a singer, and I didn't play guitar at the start of this.
That's crazy. You would never know.
I mean, it's like sang at home.
Right.
Thanks. I know, and I'm back there with like Selena Gomez and Ariana Grande. Like, and they're so nice and so just impressive and lovely. Yeah. That was terrifying.
There's a moment that I love.
Not them,
right,
not
right.
them doing the movie.
No, the movie, right.
They're not terrifying.
No,
they're lovely.
super nice. They're super nice.
Truly.
The moment that I might love more than any other is where Timmy comes, where Bob Dylan comes, to the side of the stage, and you see him, and you're like, that. Is that based in anything, or was that just something that James Mangold and the writers came up with? Like, what was that about to you?
Well, it was definitely in the script. It actually, like, when you learn about Joan, it's something that she really would have done, and like would have like hidden it from the audience at that time. But now, I mean, I just saw her actually yesterday in concert in San Francisco, and it was so cool. And yeah, she's just like throwing fucks every 5 minutes. It's great. And I spoke to someone who like knows her very well, was sort of like in her family, and he said, he was like, oh yeah, that was so Joni. It was great. And so that was fun. Someone brought it to my attention that like, I guess that's a thing I do, because I flip off someone in Top Gun. So I guess it's like now a trademark of mine, which is dangerous. Every movie I need to flip somebody off.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
How would you articulate the importance of your collaboration with Timothy? Because all the stuff that you guys have together in this movie is so special and so exciting. It's just electric, no pun intended. When you guys are on the screen together, what do you remember about the experience working with him?
Well, we approached this. No one was like sort of, I guess, technically method on this, but we approached this in as close of a way as possible to that. I mean, we didn't meet until we were both very musically proficient. We met like a week before we started filming, and one of our first meetings was a music rehearsal. So that was nice, because I mean, I really admired his work. I mean, he's having like screenings, like he's already having career retrospectives, and he's not 30. I was like, what?
He'll be here on Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I like, it was nice to have some sort of tangible work to present to him at the beginning of this, and to get to collaborate. And it's also how Joan and Bob met. They met on the music scene. He saw her perform, and then she saw him perform. And so we kind of kept our relationship more similar to theirs, in that they were sort of these like siloed performers when they met, and then they collaborated, and it was like so special, and it felt really special to do that.
You guys made magic together. I'm so happy that you're here. Monica Barbaro, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you. So good. So great. All right, we're nearing the end. Up next from the fantastic movie The Apprentice is Sebastian Stan. Let's watch a little bit of it. Wow. Please welcome BAFTA and Oscar nominee Sebastian Stan. That's for you. Welcome.
God, that was like the longest clip in the world.
I loved it. I could have watched twice as long. I was
nightmares every night.
Do you know what? As I was watching that again, because it's been 5 months since I've seen the movie, what must this experience have been like for you, having come from, I mean, you've made movies of every possible budget, right? From the huge Marvel ones to this. What did this one feel like in comparison to some of the other ones that you've done, just on the set?
There was nothing like it, honestly. That's the best way to describe it. I mean, that day actually was the January 3rd. It was right after Christmas break, and I was so worried about it, because that scene and the end scene of the movie were in the same location. We were very location dependent. And they're important scenes, but there was no time. There was always not enough time, and obviously this is this guy, right? So there was a degree of trying to always work with what is the truth of it, and get past all of the pitfalls that you could fall into.
I mean, I just think about like the journey. I hate to even use that's like on The Bachelor, but the journey that this movie has had. Like, were people going to see it? Were they not going to see it? Was it going to be in 2 theaters? What was going to happen? Was it going to sink? Was it going to get in trouble? Blah, blah. And now here you are on this stage as an Academy Award nominee for this performance. And it's so right. Does it almost make it more satisfying because it was unclear if this was even going to see the light of day in the general public way?
I mean, both Jeremy and I, who, I love, and I really was very lucky to have him as a partner, who's incredible, are deeply, deeply grateful to obviously have had, this recognition, and it was just hard to ever, you never knew. It was so uncertain. You couldn't expect anything ever. And I had many people say, well, you're never going to win anything for this. And I'm like, well, sometimes it's not just about that, right? It just felt like it was important, and there's mixed feelings about it. We went through an election while we were doing this, so it was there were so many feelings, and there are still feelings. There's not just one thing. It is really beautiful to because now the movie gets seen, more people can go in there, they can continue to look and try to understand, because we have to understand. That's the one thing. This is not a situation where we can be indifferent, or we can bury our heads in the sand and wait to wake up and then see what happens. It's happening now, and it's just I think we're living in a world where you've got billionaires that are telling you how to think and how to feel, and everyone's screaming at each other if you're thinking differently. And this is just about forming your own opinion and being able to have courage to say that, So that's why I admire the movie. And
the performance is so perfect in so many ways because it's not overdone. It's just spot on. The hands, the mouth. There's so much about it where I watched it and I was like, yes. I mean, but again, not too much. What unlocked it for you to get it right?
Well, I mean, there was obviously so much footage, and it was really helpful. And part of it was learning like a new instrument. It's just like you're sitting there, you're practicing every day until you just do it in your sleep. You just can wake up and do it. But I worked with this amazing dialect coach, Liz Himmelstein, who's incredible, and we really were focusing on the consonants. It's like, even the lips had a purpose, right? They weren't just there for no reason. It was forming around certain consonants where you are doing things. And then we were realizing that actually he doesn't breathe, to be honest. That's why it's all in the throat. He doesn't actually breathe into his body, which was interesting because everything was really up here. And so again, that was a fascinating thing, because then you look at his posture and you wonder why that is that way. It's I mean, I guess maybe his obsession with Clint Eastwood movies, and where the stare down came from. I mean, it's like, for a guy that wants to be taken as original, he's really pretty good at stealing. But, but at the end of the day, look, we wanted to try to literally give him like a shot and understand what it is about him that's the drive and what's underneath all that. And I think when you go back to like the Rona Barrett interview, which I would like basically listen to every day in the makeup chair, I would just play the Rona Barrett interview. And it's the first time he's like got his own sort of 1 hour special on him. And it's 1977. It's on YouTube. And, he's shifting his seat. He can't hold eye contact. He's confident about certain things, but he's finding himself in that thing. And that was very revealing to me, So
you talk about Jeremy Strong, and I am also he's a former virtuoso here. And I'm really glad that he got the nomination too. When you think back to like the days where he was on set with you, what felt special about those days?
it's like I just didn't know what was going to happen, you know. And I think that to me as an actor, like that's what you dream of, you know. You spend months preparing as best as you can for lightning to strike. Like that's how I think of it. And it's like, and then you go there and you want to be surprised and be in the moment. And Jeremy, you know, we never really spoke, like we never hung out. We never spoke the entire time. We met before at this sort of like weird nightclub that kind of like basically is like the first scene in the movie that we have. And then we sort of realized we were going to trust each other. And then I would only see him on set, you know, we would just be in character. And there was a degree of tension there that kind of, I think, helped us by the end. But he's incredible at, you know, just wanting to find that truthful moment and surprise you. And that's what you want.
It's just such an interesting time for you. You know, you win the Golden Globe for A Different Man, and then you get an Oscar nomination for The Apprentice. This is a strange question to ask you, but what are you proud of as far as what you've been able to achieve with both of these films in the same season?
You know, A Different Man was, again, another film that I really care deeply about. We did 2 years ago, and it's also a film that like kind of, I'm proud of being able to have worked with these filmmakers that are so, to me, that are out there right now, like fearlessly just trying to confront us with things that we're not used to, you know. Like Aaron Schimberg is an incredible filmmaker, and he's teaching you and me and all of us how to handle disability in a different way, how to be curious about it, how to have permission to be curious, because that's part of the problem, as I've learned, is that we don't know how to you know, look at it. We have these narratives, and it's so black and white we don't even realize it. And for a Golden Globe like that moment, it was like that movie got to be seen. It was #1 on Max, you know, streaming, and more people are discovering it, and they're discovering Adam Pearson in a different way. And I think what I was saying is like, we want to keep exposing ourselves. I think, you know, that's what's beautiful about the movies. It's like you want to keep, like Sing Sing, fucking, that movie's unbelievable, you know. And I'm glad he's here. But like, how would you know about that world if you didn't go to the movies, right? Like it has to be, you have to expose yourself to things that are uncomfortable or are unknown, right? And that's what I love about it.
Such an exciting time. I'm so glad that you're here. Sebastian Stan, everyone. Thank you. 7 down, 1 to go, unfortunately, but it's Selena Gomez from Emilia Perez. Let's take a look at Selena in the film. Hi. That's for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being so patient and waiting for everybody else. She's here.
No, it's okay.
It's great to see you.
Good to see you.
We all do. Listen, it has been a time. You have been through it. I just feel like this movie, have been under this microscope for good, for not so good, for all these different reasons. I just want to know, how are you? How are you doing right now?
Thank you very much. I'm good. I'm really good. Some of the magic has disappeared, but I choose to continue to be proud of what I've done, and I'm just grateful. I live with no regrets, and I would do this movie over and over again if I could.
I'm so glad to hear that. Well, to that point, I'd love to know, when you now think back on this whole experience, what did this project allow you to do, professionally speaking, that maybe you had never gotten the chance to do before? How would you distill that?
Just having someone see something in me besides the obvious was such a special experience. The director just really trusted me, and I was so grateful because I've gotten to show people that I am capable of doing more, and I hope that this is just the beginning for me in this field. So thank you. Yeah.
it's such a thrilling but also emotionally taxing experience in a good way to go through the experience of watching Emilia Perez. I can only imagine what then it was like for you all, you specifically, to go through it, especially numerous takes of some of the most intense scenes. I'd be curious to know how you chose to decompress after a particularly tough day and also after the end of the entire shoot.
The whole experience was actually very cathartic. Being able to express this character that was trapped in a situation that is unimaginable was really fun. However, to unwind, a good glass of wine, I guess, doesn't hurt. But no, I think it was too much fun. The adrenaline was constantly there when I was shooting because it was something new every day. And the first day we ever shot, he decided to shoot the last scene of the movie. So that was a big challenge for me, but we got us there, so it was really fun.
Now, why would he do that?
He really trusted someone.
What do you feel like you're now ready to tackle in your professional life now that you've done this?
I think I'm ready to just focus on this for a while. I think film and art making and being around such incredible, talented people that have done nothing but uplift me along the way. I don't know, it's going to be very hard for me to ever go back to music after this.
Okay, but it's not, but it's like a never say never situation, right? Yes, thank
Maybe.
you. You do you. That's great advice. Okay, how many times have you watched Emilia Perez, and what has the experience been like for you watching it numerous times if you have?
One.
Well, you've watched it one time.
I watched it in Cannes, and then I started to watch it with my family, and I got nervous, and because my grandparents were seeing me say some stuff, and I was like, okay, but it was beautiful. I get very weird watching stuff sometimes, but I couldn't have been more proud.
Do you think there'll be a time where you're ready to watch it again?
Oh yeah, no, it's been on. Like my grandparents casually throw it on in the background. I'm like, that's why is it on? So.
Oh my God. Listen, there's one thing I want to ask you about, just because it's one of my favorite stories of anything that I've ever witnessed, even peripherally. So when I met you at the Telluride Film Festival in September, the coolest thing happened, which is that the local girls volleyball team put up a flyer on like a wooden post that said like, Selena Gomez, we know you're here in Telluride. Would you come and to our volleyball game and just say hi to us? Well, guess what? She did it. And it's on your social media, at least it was, where you like the video of you walking into the gymnasium and like these girls' heads exploding. And clearly it was such a special moment for these adorable girls who had the idea to do it. But I want to know, what do you get out? I would love to know what that experience gives you.
It just makes all of it worth it. I had nothing to do, and I thought it was so cute that day. And I was like, I think this would be nice. I don't know. That stuff brings me joy in the smallest ways, and it's awesome. Thank you.
There's just some people who in this industry, I would say Paul Rudd is also a similar person. He's one of these people who just understands that he can bring such joy to people by a simple act of kindness. Where did you realize that from?
My mom. My mom always said, treat people the way you want to be treated. I'm no greater. I'm no lesser than anyone. I'm just a girl from Texas who works really hard. That's it.
Well, there's many people that see you very differently in the best possible way now, so I congratulate you on your fantastic work.
Thank you
Selena
so
Gomez,
much.
everybody. Terrific. Okay. So now comes the time where I guess there's like a little video that's going to show for a couple minutes. While that video shows, Selena's going to go off stage. They're going to set up all the chairs, all 8 of the virtuosos, and they're all going to come back for a little group interview with me. So don't move. Here's a little special video message. But let's bring the other 8 people back on. Please help me welcome back to the stage Ariana Grande, Clarence Macklin, Fernando Torres, John Magaro, Mikey Madison, Monica Barbaro, Sebastian Stan, and Selena Gomez. Come sit with me. Oh God, you're even here in alphabetical order. Can you make it up? Anyone need help getting up on these chairs? We're good?
Okay.
What a mind-blowing group you all are. This has been so much fun. So I just have a couple questions to end the night. So as we saw with John Magaro's film, September 5 takes place during the Olympics of 1972. I want to know for each of you, if you could be an Olympian, Summer or Winter Olympics, what would your event be? Go for it.
This is a real question?
That is a real question.
Wow.
That's as real as it
Knocking it out of
gets.
the park, my guy. Oh my gosh, man. Maybe perhaps figure skating?
Yes. You're halfway there.
I've got the dress.
For me, it would be, is this on? Can
Yeah.
you hear me? Yeah. It would be skiing downhill.
Curling.
Curling.
I'm going to echo that because I'm a hell of a sweeper. So curling. Yeah, yeah.
Good play together.
Yeah, but I want to sweep. I don't want to be You going to do that?
That one.
Okay, then I'm going to be like,
Yeah, okay.
we got a team.
Mikey?
Gosh, I mean, maybe horseback riding, dressage. But
Nice.
I am so gullible that a couple months ago, one of my co-stars, Karin, convinced me. He was lying, but he convinced me that when he was 13, he was in the Olympics for side jumping, which there's no such thing as side jumping. And I believed him for a few days. So.
I didn't know breakdancing was an option until, this last summer. So,
Right.
yeah, why not?
And,
Ray gun.
and as we saw, the bar is low to get into the Olympics.
I thought she was great.
Right.
I loved it.
Right.
I was
Especially
here
if you're
for
from
it,
Australia.
and I would emulate her.
Yeah. Sebastian?
What's that thing where the guys like throw that object, like where they spin around and they throw the thing?
Discus?
Oh,
No. What is it? Oh,
A hammer throw.
right.
Maybe that one. Yeah.
Nice.
Thor.
Selena, come on.
Swimming. I'm not good at it, but yeah.
Could learn. People on the stage have learned a lot of interesting things for their work, so we've learned tonight. With Clarence here, so there's a movie, Sing Sing, inspired by a period of his life. Which of you on this stage think that there should be a movie inspired by a specific period of your life? And if so, what is that period?
Absolutely nothing, I think, for me.
No one?
Yeah, no, nothing. No.
No, I'm still here. It's about my childhood. I lived in a house like that. My brother went to see the movie and he said, it's us. We are the 2 children. It's our adolescence. So in a way, I'm still here. It's a bit about my life.
Well, and also what's interesting is that many of you on this stage play real people, whether it's yourself or the real people in the movies. For all of you, is there a real person that you, and obviously some of you have done it, is there a real person that you would want to play in a movie? There's a lot of important people here in this audience, maybe some casting directors or producers. Who's a real person that you have not played that you would want to play? Who wants to take it?
Hey, listen, I would like to play Smokey Robinson.
Oh my God,
How's your singing voice, Clarence?
that's good. That's
I
good.
don't have a singing voice. You're not gonna like it. I'm telling you now.
Clarence, can we hear your falsetto?
Oh, come on, bro. Not right now.
All right. Any real person you'd want to play?
Oh my goodness. So we'll circle back.
Okay, fine. We'll go back to John. Who do you want to play?
What was the
A
question?
real person you'd
Where
like
are
to.
we? What's happening?
Another real person you'd like to play.
I'm gonna say Roger.
Roger Darling.
Oh!
Roger, do you sign away your life rights to John Magaro?
I just need really cool sunglasses.
Yeah.
Anyone have any?
John is hot. That's the word from Roger. He's on board. Other side of the stage, what real people have you not played that you'd want to play?
It's such a scary thing, but I would love to play Linda Ronstadt.
I was gonna say whether that was going on because I
Oh,
was.
yes, yes.
Yeah, exactly. That I feel like that's gonna be good.
Okay.
Thanks. You can totally do it. Thank you.
Are you a casting director?
Help me.
I love the dancer actress Sid Charisse.
Love her.
She's in all the greatest like dance scenes from Singing in the Rain and all kinds of films, and I think a lot of people don't even know her name and don't know who she is, but they know the imagery of her iconic dance scenes. So,
Let's manifest a Sid Charisse biopic starring you right now. I mean, we talk about her on Turner Classic Movies all the time. Anyone else?
Well, I think I'm done with real people for a while. Just want to make it to 45 at least.
Probably smart. Anyone else? You don't have to. Not everyone has to answer every question. I'm just throwing it out there.
now you tell us.
Exactly. Okay, so here's another one for everybody. So we have Fernanda here, who, of course, delivers her performance in Portuguese. What foreign language would you like to give a film performance in, and how would you do?
Ooh, I've never thought about this before, but I am Italian, and that would be pretty cool. That would be kind of fun. I don't know. See.
Clarence, what do you want to tackle?
I actually have two. I would like to do something in Mandarin and French. Mandarin and French. Those are my two.
Great idea.
I would love Italian too because it happened. I decided to learn Italian during the pandemic, and then it destroyed my Portuñol. So I would love to. That it must be wonderful.
So past lives, right? I was terrible in Korean in that. My wife is Korean American, and she would be very happy if I learned Korean, and was better than how I did it in that movie. And also, I just want to be that white actor in Korea who is the bartender in like the K-dramas, who is like, "How are you?" So that's my goal in my career.
Listen, this is the stage where dreams get hatched. I'm
I
just
hope
telling
so.
you, this happens.
Yeah.
Mikey? Well,
Gosh,
you
I
spoke
don't
a little
know.
bit of Russian.
I had to learn Russian for my film Menorah, and I had never had to do anything like that. But I don't know. I mean, it's really my dream to work in different countries with lots of different filmmakers and really just work without borders in a sense. So any language that I will have to learn, I would love to do if it means I get to work with someone incredible.
Yeah, just to like follow that. I mean, I think it's the best thing about what we do, that we get to tackle skills and things like that. Like we get to call it work, just like spending all day learning something new, whether it's like music or dance or whatever. So honestly, like anything, any language that came my way would be really exciting. But I have that thing where, like, being mixed, I feel guilty that I don't speak any Italian or Spanish. And so, yeah, either one of those languages I think would at least like fulfill some of that need.
How, Sebastian, are you bilingual, trilingual?
No, Romanian, yeah, bilingual. Yeah, I still speak Romanian. So I was just going to say, I finally, after 34 years or whatever, I'm finally going to get to do that in this next film. So I'm really excited about it. Yeah.
Could you just give us a sentence right now of how excited you are to speak Romanian in your next film? In Romanian.
Da, sigur, de ce nu? Ce pot să spun? Adică îmi place foarte mult că sunt aici acum cu voi și I'm like, this is gonna be online. And everyone's gonna be like, but he's got an accent when he speaks Romanian. He can't do it.
That's what AI is for, Sebastian. As we've learned this year. Selena, obviously, you've done
I think
it.
French would be really fun. Yeah, just beautiful, I guess. I would love to.
So we have a little bit of a tradition here. And I realize I should have probably told you all this beforehand, but I didn't. So what I like to do with this event is kind of send everybody off with recommending a movie that you all saw this year that maybe people haven't seen. It can be one that they have seen, but something that some people might not have seen that you saw this year that you would recommend that people see. And I'll start. And I have two. I love the movie Piece by Piece, which is the Lego animated musical documentary about the life of Pharrell Williams. I loved it, and I feel like people didn't see it. And then I would also add a movie called The Piano Lesson, because Danielle Deadweiler, who was a virtuoso here a couple of years ago, gives a performance in that movie that I think is spectacular, and how she is not already a 2-time Oscar nominee is beyond me, but I thought she was fabulous. So if you don't mind, I'm going to put you all on the spot. What's something that you've seen this year that you would tell people to see?
Well, firstly, I've seen everyone's movies on this stage, and everyone's incredible and brilliant. So everyone's work on the stage, highly recommend. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like all the ones that I love are very obvious. I don't know. I love The Substance and A Real Pain. I love everything that and Conclave, everything has been just so beautiful. It's been such a magnificent year for movies and art, and I just have endless respect for, like I said, everyone on this stage, and it's been so beautiful to kind of be able to meet so many actors and actresses that I love and admire and have been obsessed with their movies this year. So every movie.
Good answer. Good answer, but I liked your specific answers
Thank
too.
you so much.
Right. Clarence?
I agree with you. I want everybody to see Honora. Honora is a great movie. And also Piano Lesson.
So good.
Piano Lesson is a great
It's on
movie.
Netflix,
Those are
y'all.
my two.
Fernanda?
I would say Hard Truths by Mike Lee because of Marianne Jean-Baptiste. It's a killer. And they did it like improvising. So for actors, I think, to see that kind of work where the director brings something from what you bring, and Marianne, and also because the film about anger. And nowadays, it's very common. Everybody's so angry. And it's a character that it's angry. She wakes up angry. She goes to bed angry. And one day, her husband said, "Why are you so angry?" And she says, "I don't know." So good. So that's the one I recommend.
It's a great performance. John?
So, since I have a 5-year-old and I only get to watch animated movies, I'm sure your movies are great, by the way. I'm sure they're amazing. But of the animated movies I only get to watch, I would say The Wild Robot.
So good.
So check that out. If a 5-year-old can enjoy it, you can.
Mikey.
I just saw a couple days ago this amazing Irish film called Kneecap, which is spectacular. It's based off of this punk rap band, literally called Kneecap, and the three musicians who are in the band play themselves in the film, and it's brilliant. I highly recommend.
Monica.
Well, I feel like I was just talking with someone back there about how I wish more people had seen Sing Sing. I feel like it could have used a little bit more like wind under its sails. And then also a lovely film called Los Freakies. That yep.
Great.
Check it out.
Sebastian.
Just two movies come to mind. I mean, there's so many, obviously, but The Girl with the Needle and this other film called Armand, actually starring Renata Rainsby. And they're incredible. They're both foreign language films, but they definitely, you'll go on that journey. I think you won't regret it.
And Girl with the Needle was nominated for an international Oscar, right? Selena?
Mine are, I loved A Real Pain, and I told everyone that Honora was definitely one of my favorites this year. But you guys have seen it.
All great answers. Well, there's only one thing left to do, which is to let these 8 people actually get their award for being here. And I am so happy that to be here to present the trophies for the 3rd year in a row is local favorite, 5-time Emmy winner, the fabulous Jane Lynch.
Thank you, fellow Santa Barbarians. Well, it is time to do the deed. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you the Santa Barbara International Film Festival's Virtuosos for this, the year of our Lord, 2025. Ariana Grande for Wicked. Macklin for Sing Sing. Fernanda Torres, I'm Still Here. John Magaro, September 5. Mikey Madison, Honora. Monica Barbaro, A Complete Unknown. Sebastian Stan, The Apprentice. And Selena Gomez, Emilia Perez.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you to these 8 phenomenal performers. Thank all of you for being here. I hope to see you next year. Have a great night.